What's going on, guys? I am super stoked to bring you this video. We're going to jump right in. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down in more depth the 4C prompt framework so you can get the most out of your prompts and the outputs from the AI model that you're chatting with. So first things first, anyone can type anything into ChatGPT, but not everyone can speak its language. So if you can't speak its language, you're going to get a terrible outcome. Just like if I were to go to China and try to communicate in English to a Chinese person, they're not going to understand what I'm saying and they're going to respond to me in Chinese, which is not the output that I want to get. I want to get English as their output, and I want to get high quality English as their output. So if I wanted to get out a good output from them, I'd have to speak Chinese fluently. So we need to go to these AI models with the language that it speaks in order for it to give me the output that it wants to give me. So the difference between a random user and a skilled prompt engineer comes down to one thing, and that's the structure. And that's why I came up with the 4C prompt framework. So we talked about it a little in the last video, but the 4Cs are character, context, constraints, and command. Character is who the AI should act as, whether that's an expert in whatever it is you're asking, or if it's someone who's like a consultant, whatever it is, you want to give it a character so the AI places the persona in that context. Next is the context, and that's the background or purpose that it needs to understand. Next, we have the constraints. That's the limitations or structure that it should follow. That includes any examples that you want to give it of inputs and outputs so the AI knows exactly how it should respond to your inputs. And finally, we have the command, and that's the call to action, the main task or the goal of the AI. What is it supposed to do? Now, the reason why we're using this 4C framework is because not only is it character, context, constraints, command going to give you the best outputs, but you could even take it a step further and define what the role is. Who's the persona? If with you're in the context, what's the background? Like what's the historical background of what you're looking at? What is the background on your business? What's the background on the purpose of what you're trying to do? With constraints, like what are the limitations of what's going into your prompt? What are the limitations of the output? Like I only want you to output 100 characters. What kind of structure do you want the output in? What do you want the tonality to be? What is the task? What is the goal? So basically you could break this down even further and get hyper specific with what you want. And that's going to optimize the output from your AI model. So if we think about the character that we're adding to AI, basically by giving it a persona like you are a lawyer specializing in real estate law, that's going to be much better if you're writing an NDA or whatever it is, than if you just say, hey, write me an NDA, because the model is going to be honing in on lawyer specific language when it writes your output for you. So we take a look at thinking and writing, output, and knowledge source. If you define the character, it's going to shape your thinking and writing by that persona. The output is going to be more credible and intentional. And the knowledge source is, like I said, going to be pulling from those related patterns. We're honing it in. Think about like a funnel. This is all of the data, but when you add a character to it, then it's going to hone it in to the hyper specific lawyer that specializes in real estate law. Whereas if you don't define the character, you're still up here. You're going to act as a general assistant. Your output is going to be vague and emotionless. And the thinking and writing by the AI is going to be generic, and you're going to get inconsistent responses. So let's take a look at an example. Oh, hey guys, if you've been watching this and you found value from this video, I highly recommend checking out my community, Automation Academy. Inside, I teach you how to build complete AI automation systems from scratch, from AI voice agents to CRM integrations to workflow automation, the entire stack. You'll get access to the full course library, live support, a community of builders who are actually implementing this stuff, and weekly calls where we troubleshoot real problems together. The content you're watching is just one piece of the puzzle. Inside Automation Academy, you'll get the complete blueprint for starting your own agency or building the infrastructure to scale your business. If you're interested, link is in the description. And now back to the video. Weak prompt might be write an email for a marketing campaign, right? It doesn't know anything about your business. It doesn't know who's writing the email. It doesn't know what the purpose of the marketing campaign is. So it's going to give you a super generic response. But if you define the character and say you are a senior email strategist who has helped SaaS companies boost open rates by 40%, that's already honing it down into a specific character, and you're going to increase your marketing, or you're going to have a better better marketing campaign just by increasing the persona here without changing anything else. Obviously, as you change the other C's, you're going to get an even better output, but this is just the start. Next thing I want to talk about is context. So with context, you're teaching the AI why it's doing the writing or why it's doing whatever task you are asking it to do. So with context, there's three things you want to do. One, you want to define your audience. So tell the AI who the content is for and how it will tailor the message. So I actually like to create a document in my AI knowledge base. So when I'm going to ChatGPT or Claude or any model, I will upload a document, which is a creative brief. I will link a creative brief down below for this video. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to talk about my target audience in depth. Who am I targeting with this campaign? What are their pain points? What are the things that keep them up at night? What is their goal with their specific business and how can I help solve it? What are the solutions that we could provide them? What are sales arguments we can use? What are objections they might have? What are rebuttals to rejections they might have? So all of this information I will put in a document, and that helps add context to whatever I'm trying to do. Maybe it's writing an email campaign. Maybe it's writing a text campaign. So having this context is going to hone in the value that the AI provides to us. So first we want to define the audience. Next, we want to identify the pain points. I kind of combine these two together with a creative brief, and I put all the pain points within that creative brief along with the rebuttals so that the AI has that context. But if you want to put that in your prompt, that works as well. Finally, you want to set the objective. So what is the AI actually doing and how can it achieve its intended purpose? So lay out the exact steps that it needs to take in order to get the results that you want it to give. Let's take a look at another example. So if I were to say, write a blog about AI in marketing, obviously that is a weak prompt. But if we were to make this prompt a bit stronger, we could say, you are a marketing strategist. I run a small agency helping e-commerce stores automate email campaigns using AI. My audience is skeptical of AI hype and wants practical, real-world use cases. Write a 500-word blog showing 3 small ways brands can use AI to personalize emails without sounding robotic. So here we've added context so that the AI understands exactly what we want to create the campaign around and how to write this blog post. It's going to produce copy that actually resonates without sounding like it's from a textbook, especially if you use something like a creative brief, which defines exactly who your audience is, their pain points, etc. Next, let's talk about constraints. Constraints are the boundaries and structure that you want your AI to output. So this is going to be the tonality, the format, the length, and any exclusions that you want within your AI. So for tone, we could go something like formal, casual, or friendly. For format, like I want you to output a table or bullets or markdowns. For length, you could set word limits. Of course, you can add example inputs and outputs so it understands the exact structure that you want the AI to output in. And for exclusions, you could say like avoid jargon or don't mention the price. So these are essentially the rules or guidelines that the AI is following before it goes and creates that output for you. So we'll take a look at another example. Instead of saying explain cryptocurrency, we could say you are a financial educator. Explain cryptocurrency to a 15-year-old using simple analogies in under 200 words and include one everyday example. Avoid jargon. So these would be the constraints: using simple analogies, under 200 words, and avoid jargon. Now, again, this is a super simple example, but if you want to get more complex with it, the longer you make your prompt, as long as it's within the context window and the more specific you make it, the better outputs that you're going to get. Finally, we have command. You need to tell the AI what to do or else it's not going to do it correctly. You need to be very specific. You need to say write or summarize, compare, design, whatever it is, or even like read this document. You need to tell it exactly what to do or it's going to make an assumption on what to do next instead. And that's where hallucination happens a lot of the time. So creating the command is pretty easy. It goes without saying, but I did create a little infographic here. 1, identify the need. What is it that you need? Create a command for that specific need with all of the context, again with the constraints. Ensure you're hyper specific with it, be creative with it, and then go ahead and have the AI execute the command after you've done the first 3 C's. It goes without saying, a poor command is going to give you a generic output, but a clear command is going to give you the end result that you want. Now, let's take a look at writing LinkedIn posts, for example, if I wanted to write a prompt or be a LinkedIn copywriter, right? So, in copywriting, your character is going to define the tone and your context is going to shape the target audience and purpose. So, if I were to go about this, I would create a super defined character. So, you are a senior B2B copywriter with 8 years of experience helping SaaS founders write high performing LinkedIn posts. Next, I'd give it some context. I run a startup automation tool that helps agencies cut admin time by 40%. I want to announce a new feature that uses AI to write client reports automatically. I would probably create a creative brief with the help of AI, of course, and then add that creative brief to the context. I'd upload it into ChatGPT or Claude or one of these LLMs. Then I would write the constraints of the LinkedIn post in under 120 words. I want you in a friendly but confident tone. Start with a hook, end with a clear CTA, and write a LinkedIn post that makes founders curious and want to try this tool. So that's how I would approach writing a LinkedIn post. And I can even say a specific copywriter that I like. Like, I want you to write in the style of Dan Kennedy. And of course, the character is going to set the expertise. It's going to ensure that the AI writes with authority. It's going to make sure the context aligns with your audience. The constraint is going to maintain your tone and focus. And the command is going to give the final action to perform to actually write that LinkedIn post. And you would essentially just copy and paste it. Or you build an automation with the API, connect it to the LinkedIn API, and then post it directly to LinkedIn. Now, I have a few more examples on this doc, which I will link below for research purposes, for learning new things and exploring complex topics, as well as building new systems, workflows, and automations. If you want to read through those specifically, hit the link below and get access to this document. But I'm going to keep going with the exercise. And now what I want you to do next is I'm going to leave you with this exercise. So we have the problem statement and the answer here below. Again, this document is linked below, but I'm not going to go into it because I want to test you. So I'm going to give you this problem and I'd like you to come up with the solution in terms of a prompt and compare it to the answer below. So here's the problem. You just landed a retainer client who's paying you $15,000 to build their entire customer acquisition funnel. They sell a $3,000 online course teaching Amazon FBA. They have 1, a half-built ClickFunnels account with 3 abandoned funnels. 2, 8,000 email subscribers who haven't been emailed in 4 months. 3, a Facebook ad account that's burned $12,000 with 2 sales. 4, 0 automation, 0 segmentation, 0 follow-up system, and they want all of this live in 3 weeks. So your goal is to architect the entire system, the funnel structure, the email sequences, automation logic, ad targeting strategy, and the integration map, like what that's going to look like with a timeline, completely from scratch, and you can't afford to rebuild it twice. So what you're trying to do is build a prompt that's going to act as your senior funnel architect who maps out the complete system with the technical implementation details, not theory, not the best practices, actual build specifications. You can hand off to your team or go ahead and execute yourself. So what I want you to do is go ahead and write this prompt to be very specific for this particular client and can hand off all the documentation and SOPs and build specifications over to your development team so that they can go and actually build out the funnels for this client. So I'm going to leave you with that. The prompt is down below and why the prompt works. So if you want to check that out once you've built your own master prompt, hit the link below and then scroll down to the bottom. We have the full master prompt here, why it works. But I'm going to leave you with that and I will see you in the next video.